First, she wasn't elected. Now Hillary's class gets rejected. True, even students on the left give Professor Clinton an F. Students in Hillary Clinton's new class says it sucks. Even more than an intern who... you know where this is going. So a new study links drinking alcohol to the risk of dementia. Alcohol and dementia. Sounds familiar.
Picture this. Greg Gutfeld, known for turning political commentary into comedy, suddenly aimed his sharpest jokes at Hillary Clinton. What started as a single cutting remark quickly grew into a relentless takedown that grabbed attention across the internet. Viewers everywhere are reacting, and it's easy to see why. What followed became one of the most talked about comedic moments in recent memory. Buckle up, because things escalated fast.
The idea that you could turn the clock back and try to recreate a world that never was, dominated by, let's say it, white men of a certain persuasion, a certain religion, a certain point of view, a certain ideology, it's just doing such damage to what we should be aiming for.
What? Isn't she charming? No wonder Bill spends most of his days perched in a tree outside the local Hooters.
Before we dive in, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. Now, Greg Gutfeld didn't simply take a shot at Hillary Clinton. He went after the image and legacy she spent years building, and he did it with complete confidence. It felt like watching someone tear down a long-standing symbol without the slightest hesitation. The impact was impossible to ignore, and reactions spread online almost instantly as people weighed in on the moment.
It's back like a sore on a porn star's lip.
Ew.
Complaining on X about Trump cleaning up D.C., she says, quote, on one hand, Republican officials call themselves war fighters. On the other, they become whiny crybabies at the thought of setting foot in D.C.'s streets and New York City subways that literal school children navigate every day without incident. Real macho stuff. Then she got off social media and returned to moving a dead body to a park.
For years, Hillary Clinton cultivated a reputation as a strong, resilient political figure, someone who appeared difficult to rattle and always in control. That image became a major part of how many people viewed her career. Then Greg Gutfeld stepped into the conversation with his trademark humor and biting commentary. Through a series of sharp jokes and observations, he challenged that carefully maintained perception, transforming what once looked like a powerful political force into something he portrayed as outdated and struggling to hold itself together.
This might be, in my opinion, the worst thing she's ever said, because we know New York City subways. Kids don't take the subway.
Yeah.
I mean,
and if you do, you're like, whose kid is that?
Yeah, there are men on there who set fire to women, but she's pretending that the people that are trying to reduce crime, that are doing it for themselves, because she's only used to doing things for herself.
The funniest part about this post for me was the fact that she disabled comments on it. Like, oh, what? You wouldn't want to have to see anything unsavory.
This wasn't a mild exchange of opinions or a carefully measured debate. What unfolded was a relentless wave of jokes and criticism that kept landing one after another. Gutfeld delivered each punchline with the confidence of someone who knew exactly where he wanted the conversation to go. The situation seemed to catch Hillary completely off guard. The contrast was striking, as if an old system was suddenly being forced to keep up with a world that had already moved far ahead. What made the moment even more noticeable was her response. Rather than brushing it off or joining in on the humor, she leaned harder into defending her position. She continued presenting the same image of strength and authority that had defined her public persona for years. The problem, at least in the eyes of many watching, was that the approach no longer carried the same impact it once did.
Masculinizes the argument. I don't even know if that's a word. Is it?
It is now.
It is. She takes a real issue, which is crime affecting the citizens of D.C., and makes it about these war fighters being whiny crybabies, like it's big, whiny men.
Yeah, because they want the streets safe for not just them,
Yes.
the children, and not just that, the children who are jacking and robbing everyone.
If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more content. Gutfeld wasn't finished. Through a steady stream of sarcasm and humor, he continued chipping away at the image Hillary Clinton had spent years cultivating. The confidence and authority that once seemed unshakable suddenly looked far less convincing under the spotlight. Political debates are one thing. They're environments where experienced politicians can redirect questions, change focus, and regain control of the conversation with ease. But comedy operates by different rules. In that setting, Hillary appeared far less comfortable, while Gutfeld kept steering the spotlight back toward the very point she seemed eager to move past.
Treated classified info the way her husband treats women, casually disposable. In this age when there's no monopoly on mayhem, we need careful, not careless. 3, she put personal privacy before public security. The way Bill used the Secret Service, she used the Secret Server, both to create a wall between prying eyes. So, no surprise, in a new poll, when Americans are asked what word best describes her, they scream liar, followed by dishonest, then untrustworthy. I think I notice a trend. To Americans, she's less dependable than your cable guy. Meanwhile, as she implodes, Biden basks, a white knight with whitened teeth. But as nice as Joe is, it reveals the sober truth.
What made the moment stand out was how effortlessly Gutfeld delivered every joke. He looked completely comfortable, firing off punchlines that carried the same message. A political era that once dominated the conversation had now become the subject of comedy. For many viewers, that was the appeal. He took years of public criticism and turned it into humor. Hillary's familiar speeches, carefully crafted responses, and public image became easy targets for the jokes. And the more she tried to maintain her composure, the more attention the comedy seemed to draw from the audience.
Arrested and ready Bigfoot. Hillary Clinton told folks in Pennsylvania that she's ready to come out of the woods. So is this the comeback that America wants? You know, we love it when great bands get back together, but not Limp Bizkit, not Hoobastank. Hillary announcing a return, it's like the bird flu announcing a return of the bird flu. Or McDonald's relaunching the Arch Deluxe, or MSNBC bringing back Brian Williams. Really? We're living in a reverse episode of In Search Of, where the vanishing creature keeps looking.
This wasn't just a criticism of Hillary Clinton's past. It was a commentary on how many people view her political future. Gutfeld portrayed her as a figure from an earlier era, still trying to remain relevant in a rapidly changing landscape. What made it land was the way he turned that idea into comedy. Rather than treating her as a dominant political force, he presented her as someone whose influence had faded. As the jokes continued, she became the center of the humor without ever fully controlling the conversation. The audience reaction amplified everything. Clips spread quickly online, memes followed, and the moment gained attention far beyond the original segment. For many viewers, it wasn't a political debate. It was a comedy moment that left Hillary as the main punchline.
Plays won't go away. She's the Yeti who wouldn't leave. Well, unless, of course, she's running for office. Then she disappears. But she announced she's back in Lackawanna, Pennsylvania. True, she did beat Trump there, but he won the entire state. And she lost it because she was MIA. She thought she had it in the bag. So now she says, hey, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of me. That's the worst thing a loser can say. It's like Rachel Maddow holding up a wad of old government forms she found in a dumpster behind Trump Tower and saying, hey, you'll be seeing a whole lot more.
Before we continue, subscribe because things are about to get even bigger. The irony, according to the segment, was that Hillary Clinton spent years projecting an image of control and confidence. Gutfeld's jokes challenged that image, turning her from the person commanding the spotlight into its target. For many viewers, the moment suggested that a carefully crafted reputation can quickly be tested when humor enters the conversation.
5 days left is the proverbial poop hitting the fan. You just heard Bret Baier on the latest news. But will it make a difference? What if the emails found on Weiner's laptop did come from Hillary's server? And what if there were new discoveries that actually had classified info? One of Baier's sources claims that Hill's server had been hacked, as he said before, with information stolen by at least 5 foreign intel agencies. If this is true, how will Hillary beat this rap? With this rap by her...
Gutfeld focused on what he saw as Hillary Clinton's biggest vulnerability and built his jokes around it. Rather than targeting only her political record, he challenged the public image she has carried for years. As pressure mounted, her familiar responses became part of the comedy itself. The segment suggested that tactics often used in political debates don't work as well in a comedy setting, where quick wit and timing drive the conversation. By the end, Gutfeld's message was clear. Despite years of reinvention, the same criticisms continue to follow her.
She must be working for Trump. Seriously, that is so bad, it could turn Chelsea Clinton into a never Hillary. And sorry, Lena, the gender card has been so played out, it's falling on deaf-pierced ears. Look, if you already hate Hillary, this new stuff isn't going to change a thing. And if you already hate Trump, this isn't going to make you love him. Battle lines are drawn. Nothing sticks. But it seems like the truth is now the bull in Hillary's china shop. Remember, Nixon was pretty cocky, too, up until he wasn't. Events are now dictated
For passing her wisdom onto the next generation on everything from fraudulent land deals to unflattering pantsuits. Meanwhile, students were promised empowering lessons by one of America's biggest losers. After all, who else can teach them how to delete emails and destroy evidence, while also learning how to destroy Libya? But turns out the class is just a bunch of ego-worshipping drivel in front of an audience, unlike her show on Apple TV, which was ego-worshipping drivel without an audience. One disappointed student described her first day as a swarm of several hundred people, a sea of cameras, Secret Service personnel. Sounds like every time Joe makes a boom boom.